The incident: insect invasion in Mecca. The convergence of natural events with places of profound religious significance often stirs up a mixture of awe, anxiety, and theological interpretation. Such was the case when social media erupted with reports of an insect invasion at the Islamic praying ground in Mecca, particularly around the Kaaba, a structure that is the focal point of Islamic worship. This incident occurred after a period of heavy rainfall, an unusual phenomenon in the arid climate of Saudi Arabia. The sudden appearance of these insects at a site of immense spiritual importance, especially near the grave of the Prophet Muhammad, has generated widespread concern and speculation among Muslims worldwide. Mecca holds a pivotal place in the heart of every Muslim. It is the birthplace of the Prophet Muhammad and the site of the Kaaba, which Muslims around the world face during their prayers. The Kaaba itself is considered the house of God, and it is the destination of the Hajj pilgrimage, one of the 5 pillars of Islam. The presence of insects in such a sacred place is not just an environmental issue, but a matter that touches on the spiritual and emotional core of the Muslim community. The reaction to the insect invasion has been multifaceted, reflecting a range of emotions from concern to theological interpretation. For some, the presence of insects is a sign of divine displeasure or a call to greater piety. Others see it as a natural occurrence exacerbated by environmental factors, such as the heavy rains. One of the main points of contention revolves around the identity of the insects. Eyewitness accounts and social media posts have led to various claims, with some people asserting that the insects were cockroaches, while others believe they were crickets or locusts. This discrepancy is important not just for entomological accuracy, but also for understanding the potential implications of the invasion. Cockroaches are often associated with filth and decay. Their presence in a holy site could be interpreted negatively, suggesting a need for greater cleanliness and care for the environment. Cockroaches are also highly resilient insects that thrive in a variety of conditions, making them common in urban settings. If the invading insects were indeed cockroaches, it might point to issues with sanitation and urban infrastructure in Mecca. Crickets, on the other hand, are often less stigmatized than cockroaches. They are usually seen as harmless and are sometimes even considered symbols of good luck in various cultures. However, a large swarm of crickets can still cause distress and discomfort, especially in a place as densely populated as Mecca during peak religious seasons. Locusts carry a much heavier historical and biblical connotation. In many religious texts, including the Quran and the Bible, locusts are seen as agents of divine retribution or warnings. Their swarming behavior and potential to cause massive agricultural damage make them a particularly feared insect. If the insects in Mecca were locusts, this might be interpreted by some as a sign of divine intervention or a reminder of historical plagues. The heavy downpour preceding the insect invasion is a critical factor in understanding the event. Mecca, located in a desert region, typically experiences minimal rainfall. However, when it does rain, the city's infrastructure can be overwhelmed, leading to flooding and other issues. The sudden abundance of water can create favorable conditions for insect breeding and swarming. Moreover, climate change has been altering weather patterns worldwide, leading to more frequent and intense rainfall in regions that are typically dry. This can exacerbate the proliferation of insects, as many species lay eggs that can remain dormant until the conditions are right for hatching. The heavy rains in Mecca might have triggered such a hatching event, leading to the sudden appearance of large numbers of insects. The incident also raises concerns about public health and sanitation in Mecca. The city hosts millions of pilgrims every year, especially during the Hajj season. Ensuring that the city remains clean and free from pests is a monumental task. The appearance of insects, regardless of their species, indicates a potential lapse in sanitation measures or an extraordinary environmental event that overwhelmed existing controls. The Saudi authorities have been known to take swift action to address public health concerns, especially in places of religious significance. Following the reports of the insect invasion, there were likely extensive efforts to clean and disinfect the affected areas to reassure the pilgrims and maintain the sanctity of the site. Social media played a crucial role in disseminating information about the insect invasion. Platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram were flooded with videos and photos of the insects, which quickly went viral. This rapid spread of information helped bring the issue to the attention of a global audience, prompting discussions and debates. However, social media can also contribute to misinformation and panic. The varying claims about the type of insects present illustrate how quickly rumors can spread. Some posts might have exaggerated the extent of the invasion or its implications, leading to heightened anxiety among the faithful. The insect invasion has sparked a variety of interpretations within the Muslim community. Some see it as a test of faith or a reminder to adhere more closely to religious teachings. In Islamic theology, natural events are often viewed as signs from God, prompting introspection and spiritual growth. Others take a more pragmatic view, seeing the incident as a natural consequence of environmental factors and climate change. This perspective emphasizes the need for better urban planning and infrastructure to deal with such occurrences in the future. In Islam, events in the natural world are frequently seen as manifestations of God's will. The sudden appearance of insects in Mecca could be interpreted as a sign or a test from God. Such interpretations are deeply rooted in Islamic tradition, where natural phenomena often carry spiritual significance. For instance, the Quran mentions various natural events as signs for people to reflect upon their actions and relationship with God. The insect invasion might be viewed by some as a call for the Muslim community to examine their collective behavior and make amends where necessary. On the other hand, a scientific perspective would analyze the environmental conditions that led to the insect invasion. This approach would consider factors such as rainfall patterns, temperature, and breeding cycles of the insects. By understanding these factors, scientists and urban planners can develop strategies to prevent similar occurrences in the future. The media coverage of the insect invasion has varied widely, with some outlets focusing on the sensational aspects, while others provide more measured analysis. The way the story is presented can influence public perception and response. Sensational headlines and images can create a sense of urgency and panic, while more balanced reporting can help the public understand the underlying causes and potential solutions. In response to the incident, Saudi authorities likely took swift measures to address the insect problem. These measures would include spraying insecticides, improving sanitation, and possibly investigating the source of the infestation. The prompt action is essential not only to maintain the sanctity of the holy site, but also to reassure the millions of Muslims who visit Mecca each year. The insect invasion at the Islamic praying ground in Mecca, particularly around the Kaaba after a heavy downpour, has been a cause for concern and reflection among Muslims worldwide. The event has highlighted the intersection of natural phenomena and spiritual significance, prompting a range of reactions and interpretations. Whether seen as a sign from God, a result of environmental factors, or a combination of both, the incident underscores the importance of maintaining the sanctity and cleanliness of one of the holiest sites in Islam. As the world grapples with changing climate patterns and their impacts, such events serve as a reminder of the need for vigilance, preparedness, and perhaps most importantly, faith. The Kaaba, also known as the Sacred House, is the holiest site in Islam. Located in the center of the Masjid al-Haram Mosque in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, it is a cuboid structure that Muslims around the world face during their 5 daily prayers. It is also the focal point of the Hajj pilgrimage, which is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, and an obligation for Muslims who are physically and financially able to undertake it at least once in their lifetime. The Kaaba has a deeply rooted historical and spiritual significance in Islamic tradition. According to Islamic teachings, the Kaaba was originally built by Prophet Ibrahim and his son Ishmael. This narrative is supported by various verses in the Quran, the holy book of Islam, and is also elaborated upon in hadith, which are recorded sayings and actions of the Prophet Muhammad. The Quran provides several references to the construction of the Kaaba by Ibrahim and Ishmael. In Surah Al-Baqarah 2:127 it is mentioned, and mention when Ibrahim was raising the foundations of the house, and with him Ishmael, our Lord, accept from us. Indeed, you are the hearing, the knowing. This verse indicates that both Ibrahim and Ishmael were actively involved in building the Kaaba and sought Allah's acceptance for their efforts. Another relevant verse is found in Surah Al-Hajj 22:26-27. And when we designated for Abraham the site of the house, saying, "Do not associate anything with me and purify my house for those who perform tawaf and those who stand in prayer and those who bow and prostrate." These verses highlight that the Kaaba was intended as a pure place of worship dedicated to the one true God, Allah, and was to be maintained as such by Ibrahim. The significance of the Kaaba, also known as the sacred house, is the holiest site in Islam. Located in the center of the Masjid al-Haram Mosque in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, it is a cuboid structure that Muslims around the world face during their 5 daily prayers, Salah. It is also the focal point of the Hajj pilgrimage, which is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, and an obligation for Muslims who are physically and financially able to undertake it at least once in their lifetime. The Kaaba has a deeply rooted historical and spiritual significance in Islamic tradition. According to Islamic teachings, the Kaaba was originally built by Prophet Ibrahim, known as Abraham in Judeo-Christian traditions, and his son Ismail in Arabic. This narrative is supported by various verses in the Quran, the holy book of Islam, and is also elaborated upon in Hadith, which are recorded sayings and actions of the Prophet Muhammad. The Quran provides several references to the construction of the Kaaba by Ibrahim and his progeny. Prophet Ibrahim, a central figure in Islamic tradition, is revered for his unwavering monotheism and dedication to God's commands. His son Ishmael is also honored in Islam for his obedience and support of his father in fulfilling divine instructions. The building of the Kaaba represents their joint effort to establish a sacred site where the worship of Allah could be conducted. Islamic tradition holds that the Kaaba was constructed in a valley that was barren and uninhabited at the time. Ibrahim and Ishmael's act of building the Kaaba was a monumental task undertaken in obedience to God's command. After the construction, Ibrahim prayed for the land to be blessed and for it to become a place of safety and prosperity, which is reflected in the following Quranic verse from Surah Ibrahim 14:35-37. And mention when Abraham said, "My Lord, make this a secure city and provide its people with fruits, whoever of them believes in Allah and the last day." And he said, "And whoever disbelieves, I will grant him enjoyment for a little. Then I will force him to the punishment of the fire, and wretched is the destination. Our Lord, I have settled some of my descendants in an uncultivated valley near your sacred house, our Lord, that they may establish prayer. So make hearts among the people inclined toward them, and provide for them from the fruits that they might be grateful." This prayer signifies Ibrahim's hope that Mecca would become a thriving city centered around the worship of Allah. In summary, according to Islamic tradition, the Kaaba in Mecca was built by Prophet Abraham, and his son Ishmael. This construction is a foundational story in Islam, symbolizing monotheism and obedience to Allah. The Kaaba remains the central physical and spiritual focal point for Muslims worldwide, embodying the unity and direction of Islamic worship. Understanding this aspect of Islamic tradition deepens the appreciation for the historical and religious significance of the Kaaba and the enduring legacy of Ibrahim and Ishmael's devotion to God. Mecca holds unparalleled significance in Islam, being the holiest city for Muslims. Its importance is rooted in its historical, spiritual, and religious roles, which have shaped the faith and practice of Islam over centuries. Let's delve into the various aspects that underline the significance of Mecca. Mecca is revered as the holiest city in Islam, a status it holds due to its profound connection with the core of Islamic beliefs and practices. It is the epicenter of the Islamic faith, where millions of Muslims turn their hearts and prayers towards every day. The sanctity of Mecca is intrinsic to the Muslim identity and consciousness. Mecca is not only a geographical location, but also the birthplace of the Prophet Muhammad, the final prophet in Islam. Muhammad was born in Mecca in 570 CE, and it was here that he received his first revelation from Allah through the angel Gabriel. This event marked the beginning of Islam and the Quranic revelations that continued for 23 years, forming the foundation of the Islamic faith. The life of the Prophet Muhammad in Mecca was pivotal to the early development of Islam. His experiences, teachings, and the establishment of the first Muslim community are integral parts of Islamic history. The sites in Mecca associated with the Prophet's life, such as the Cave of Hira, where he received his first revelation, hold deep spiritual significance for Muslims. Mecca is central to the development of Muslim faith and practice. The city's history is intertwined with the early struggles and triumphs of the Muslim community. It was in Mecca that the first Muslims faced persecution for their beliefs, demonstrating their unwavering faith and commitment. This period of hardship and endurance in Mecca is a testament to the strength and resilience of the Muslim faith. The migration, Hijra, of the Prophet Muhammad and his followers to Medina marks a significant turning point in Islamic history, but Mecca remained the spiritual heart of Islam. The eventual return to Mecca and the conquest of the city by Muslims symbolized the triumph of monotheism and the establishment of Islam as a major religious force. At the heart of Mecca lies the Kaaba, a cuboid structure that is the most sacred site in Islam. Muslims around the world face the Kaaba during their prayers, Salah, a practice known as Qibla. This unified direction of prayer symbolizes the unity and solidarity of the Muslim Ummah community. Insect invasions and other natural phenomena, such as the drying up of the Euphrates River, provide profound opportunities for spiritual reflection. These events can be seen as reminders of God's power and the need for a close relationship with Him. Just as the physical presence of locusts can devastate the land, spiritual dryness can affect one's soul. The Bible teaches that only through a relationship with God can one find true spiritual nourishment and renewal. Jesus' offer of living water is a powerful metaphor for the sustenance and vitality that come from faith. Whoever drinks of the water that I shall give him will never thirst, but the water that I shall give him will become in him a fountain of water springing up into everlasting life. John 4:14 NKJV. The teachings of the Bible provide comfort and guidance, encouraging believers to remain steadfast in their faith and to seek God's presence continually. By staying close to God and drawing from His living water, believers can prevent spiritual dryness and maintain a vibrant, life-giving faith. In summary, the insect invasion in Mecca, alongside other natural phenomena, serves as a powerful catalyst for spiritual introspection and renewal. By reflecting on the biblical context and seeking a deeper relationship with God, believers can find strength and guidance to navigate both the physical and spiritual challenges they encounter.